Hello, everybody. You join us on a Natter podcast with Max and Christy.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good.
How are you doing
today? Yeah, doing all right, mate. Doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Good.
Not bad.
That's good then.
Not bad at all.
Cool. So, today's little short episode will be on conspiracy theories and paradoxes.
Ooh.
Sexy time. So, do you want to kick us off with a paradox?
Yeah, I'll get you started with some paradoxes.
Get me going. Get me juiced up, lad.
I've got two little ones here to start us off, just so that we can understand what the term paradox means.
Yeah.
Because some we can associate with everyday life, and some are just so out there that they are amazing, but they really hurt your head. So try not to think about them for too long, because your head will hurt. So here's one from Socrates. This is a paradox from Socrates. I know one thing, that I know nothing. Ooh, that hurts, doesn't it, if you think about that too long?
My head already hurts.
I know one thing, that I know nothing. But you can't know nothing if you know one thing. That's why it's a paradox.
It is as well. Because he can't know nothing because he knows that he knows nothing. So he knows one thing, but he knows nothing. So
I know one thing, that I know nothing. Yeah.
Crikey.
But if you were to correct that sentence, it would be, I know one thing, that I know one thing. But everyone would just be asking him, what's that one thing that you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and he'd be like, I know that one thing. Yeah, but what's the one thing that you know? Yeah, that I know that. You see, that he's just avoided all of that by just giving out a paradox and hurts everyone's heads.
Just a loop, isn't it?
Hurts everyone's head.
Just a loop. It just hurts one's head. Absolutely. Just kills your brain, doesn't it? That it's just, if you know one thing, you don't know nothing because you know one thing. But what's the one thing that you know?
Weird,
well,
isn't it?
The fact that I know one thing, but I also know nothing.
There's no two things. He knows one thing and he knows nothing. He knows two things.
Oh, that's the way to break
Where
the
have
chain.
we got ourselves to now?
There you go, Socrates.
Oh, so that's broken us into these paradoxes. Another good one is one called a catch-22.
Yeah.
This is a term that loads of people use in their everyday life. Something happens and they go, that's a bit of a catch-22. Have you ever used that term, catch-22?
I don't think I've used it in the same way that you're describing, but I have used it, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, the Catch-22 was actually a satirical World War II novel by Joseph Heller.
Was it really?
If you knew that. But yeah, it was indeed. And he found a paradox, a Catch-22, within it's a thing for pilots, basically. It's like a sort of, not a manual for pilots, but basically if you're being a pilot in combat, it came up with like this instruction. So here's the sort of instruction, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Pilots can get out of combat if they are psychologically unfit. Yeah, that's what it said.
Right, okay.
So this guy, Joseph Heller, took that and added to it. So here it is with the added bit on.
Right.
Pilots can get out of combat if they are psychologically unfit, but anyone who tries to get out of combat duty proves he is sane. So what he's saying there is that if you're psychologically unfit, you wouldn't know about it.
Okay.
In order to get out of it, you'd think you are sane. People who are psychologically unfit feel they are sane.
Right.
Not all the time though. That's not every condition. Just put a disclaimer out there.
Wow.
Just in terms of this, but you know what I mean.
So you can sort of spin that on its head a little bit, couldn't you? Because say that he's saying that if you're psychologically unfit, you can get out of battle, but if you get out of battle, you're declared sane because you're getting out of battle. So he's sort of saying that the people who are deciding just to fight and stay in battle are psychologically unfit. But if they were psychologically unfit, then they could get out of battle. So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, catch-22. That's a catch-22, right?
Catch-22. That muddles your head a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
So comment down below if you've ever experienced a catch-22 situation, because... I probably have.
What is your catch-22?
Yeah. What is your catch-22? Let us know.
Oh, that's why it's called a catch-22. Sorry.
Why is that?
You know when you get a contract and you go, what's the catch to this?
Yeah.
There's a catch to this. Catch-22 is an endless loop.
Right.
You'll never be able to get out of it. Ever. There you are.
There you go.
That's what those pilots were experiencing. If they're psychologically unfit, they still won't be able to get out of it, because if you got out of it, you'd prove yourself sane.
There you go.
You're stuck within the contract.
Catch
there you are.
bloody 22. There you have it.
Catch 2-2.
Catch 2-2.
Tell me a conspiracy theory. I'm intrigued.
Let's do some conspiracies. So there's a big one that's surrounded the UK and shrouded, well, not just the UK, but the elite around the world are shrouded in mystery. And
it's a big one then.
Yeah. Ooh. And the very existence of secret organizations within the elite, it's always been a subject that's really boggled our minds, hasn't it? Some people believe that the government, rich people, and the elite are all reptiles or robots. I mean, have you ever heard of the conspiracy theory that the royals are robots? Have you ever heard that?
I did hear about Meghan Markle being a robot at I think it was Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
That could just be the lighting or the fact that she moves like a robot. I mean, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah. I mean, she's a robot. She's a robot. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it very interesting. I mean, I don't believe that myself particularly, but there are some conspiracy videos and articles out there which do make you think, are the elite reptiles or are they robots?
Reptiles is a bit, I don't know, robots I could understand. Yeah. I could understand more robots than reptiles. Yeah. I think reptiles is a bit out there, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think it'd be pretty scary. I mean, if you had a reptile the size of a human, with a human capacity of the brain, it would be pretty terrifying, wouldn't it? But you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep an eye on your rich friends. They may be reptiles or robots.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, robots I can understand more because we, you know, as human beings, we are capable of building robots.
Yeah.
You know, it's been proven
That's true.
in some countries where they build robots and stuff. Whereas reptiles, that's something you've got to, like, sort of biologically engineer, which I don't think we're at that stage yet at the moment. We're, you know, there's that sheep cloning or whatever, but you know, I don't think
Dolly the sheep.
I don't think we're at the point where we can disguise reptiles as humans. And if so, how come I'm still getting flies in the flat?
Yeah.
I mean, they should surely be eaten up by these man reptiles. I mean, if they exist, then amazing. I might have a fly problem. And then I can get rid of my spiders without feeling guilty. So it actually solves a lot of things, to be honest. But
I mean, could you imagine...
I don't think we're there yet.
In the middle of a government press conference or something like that, the reptile elite seeing a fly in the room, and then suddenly you just see this tongue go whoosh, out of the Prime Minister's mouth or whatever. And it's just a bit weird. You just find that very freaky, and it'd be like, yes, that conspiracy theory was true all along. I don't think it is. I mean, do you believe in that, Max? Do you believe the elite are some sort of different race, or do you believe they're manufactured?
I mean, you know, maybe rich people are reptiles, but not in the literal sense.
I suppose so. On the subject of that sort of conspiracy, a big one that's really come across the news recently is Area 51 and the good old Area 51 raids. Did you hear about them, Max?
I did indeed. Yeah.
You didn't go to America and join in, did you?
No, I didn't. But don't ask me where I got this laser gun from. Top secret.
I mean, in your case, you found a sonic screwdriver, didn't you? That actually works.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That would. Oh, that'd be good.
So, if you didn't already know, Max is a massive Doctor Who fan. So, if you talk about things sci-fi and refer to Doctor Who, he's pretty gone with that.
That's it. I'm gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He's off.
Gone.
So in the future, if you're a massive fan of Doctor Who and you want to go and discuss Doctor Who with Max on a future episode, then feel free, and I'll just sit in the background and go, yeah, every so often. So like, fire away, guys. I'm going to sit here and go, yes.
You could win a chat with Max on Doctor Who.
What a treat, eh? That would be a treat. But no, Area 51. Do you believe there's some sort of alien technology that the US government are guarding, or do you just think it's something else? What do you think of Area 51, mate?
I don't know. It's a tricky one, obviously, because I've not been there.
Yeah.
But I reckon what they've got is just shrapnel. Maybe.
Shrapnel?
At most, shrapnel. because I don't think they've got like full spaceships and full aliens. You know, I think they've just got shrapnel from something that could be a spaceship.
Yeah.
And maybe like bacteria that's come off a meteor or something like that. I don't know. Maybe not the bacteria, but definitely maybe some shrapnel or something.
It's certainly
that they're just sticking it there because it proves the science of aliens.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about, if you released that aliens are real, everyone would be freaking out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing they must have ran scenarios on this or whatever and come to some sort of agreement that it's best stayed a secret, So, don't know.
I mean, personally, I just think it's a weapons testing facility, or it could be that they found some highly contaminated material, or like you say, something could have crashed from space, like a meteor, and had a bit of bacteria on it that they wanted to isolate or not release into the world. But I just think it is a weapons testing facility that they want to keep secret from people, because obviously they don't want other countries to know their secrets on what weapons they're producing. So it could just be that.
Yeah.
But there's obviously been some interesting things like the Roswell UFO incident. There's been all sorts of conspiracies over the years about the real technology that's in Area 51. I mean, people believe that they're hiding some sort of alien technology that could cure world hunger, or it could create an Eden on a different planet. I don't know, but personally I don't believe in it. I don't know if you believe in it, but I certainly don't believe that they're harboring some sort of alien technology that could cure every virus on the planet. But I do believe there's got to be something else out there, because the universe is just way too vast for one planet like ours to be the only planet that harbors life. So,
I mean, there's that quote by that guy.
Yeah.
Don't know who he is. Can't remember. But he said that if the Earth is not unique, then surely there would be alien life.
True.
Which, since we haven't seen any, it's basically saying that the Earth is unique right at this moment in time.
So yeah. It is.
Nice
it's unique at this moment in time. Absolutely. So do you have any more paradoxes that you could hit us with then?
Yes. There's the Pinocchio Paradox.
Yeah.
Which is quite a fun one. Also known as the lying paradox, the paradox of lying. So this one features Pinocchio, and it says, if Pinocchio says, my nose grows now, and it doesn't, then he is lying and his nose should grow. But as soon as it does grow, he was telling the truth, so it shouldn't have grown, creating a paradox.
Ooh.
Wow.
There you go.
So there you are.
There you are. That's a mind boggler for you. It really burns the chip out a bit, doesn't it? Because, I mean, if you're listening, Joe, Pinocchio is a fictional character, okay? So don't get annoyed about this one. But, yeah, that boggles the mind, because whenever Pinocchio tells a lie, his nose grows. So if he says, my nose grows now, doesn't grow, he'd be lying. So his nose would have to grow. But then...
As soon as it does grow, he's telling the truth, so it shouldn't have grown. So I reckon his nose will just fall off. His nose will be like, I don't know what's going on here. You've said some weird words. Here's a normal nose. I can't deal with you anymore. I'm off to someone else. And someone else gets the nose. It's like a little parasite.
I know.
It's not a nose, it's a parasite. There you are. Sorted.
Ooh, there you go.
There's a plot twist for you.
The nose is alien technology that they've got in Area 51, you know. I mean, if you're listening, Disney, please explain that paradox, because I don't think that's ever been answered. So if you've got an answer to the whole Pinocchio paradox, please leave it below. I'll be very interested to hear.
I don't know, with Pinocchio's paradox, can you think of another Disney character that might have a paradox? Ratatouille. Oh no, it's not really a paradox. It's more like I was just thinking of Ratatouille with a bald man. I mean, he wouldn't be able to do anything. Just massage his head. I don't know. Don't know how that would work.
Yeah, because through Ratatouille, he controls him with the hair, doesn't he? So you're bald. What would you do? Pat the right side of the head, pat the left side of the head. No offense to bald people. I'm going bald, so don't worry about it.
Do you want a last one? A final one? I'll give you a final paradox.
Let's do it. Hit me.
This is called the bootstrap paradox. This one's quite a fun one that doesn't exist right now because you need the ability to time travel. The bootstrap paradox. So I'm going to use the example of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Basically, this paradox concerns time travel, and it occurs when an object or piece of information is sent back in time and becomes trapped within an infinite cause-effect loop where the object or information no longer has a point of origin. Now, that sounds like a big waffle of words, so I'm just going to simple it down into an example featuring Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. So, I've heard Bohemian Rhapsody. Loads of people have heard Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. I'm sure you've heard Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Certainly have.
But if I was to write out the scores and everything and the lyrics and I got into a time machine and went back in time to before Freddie Mercury wrote this song and said, "Here you are, Freddie. Here's a new song for you. Try that out." He then just copies it and sings it and records it and releases it. That is then the Bohemian Rhapsody that I heard in the first place to copy down. So then the question is, of this bootstrap paradox, who really wrote Bohemian Rhapsody? How weird is that? Does that hurt your head? Do you understand it?
Yeah, it hurts my head. If you'd gone back in time and given Freddie Mercury the thing that he created, surely wouldn't that make you the creator?
No,
because he wouldn't know it existed.
So we've both just copied it. I copied it from the radio because that's where I heard it, because I've heard it before. Yeah. And so I copied it. I wrote it down. Just wrote it down, wrote the lyrics down, didn't do anything, just heard it and copied it. Then I went back in time, gave it to Freddie. Freddie then copied it, and just went, let's do this. And then he released it. Then it goes to the point where I first heard it, in which I copied it. So we both just copied it. So who really wrote it? And that's where it becomes a paradox.
That's juicy, that, mate. There's actually a film out about the very paradox you're talking about, but it's based on the Beatles, isn't it? Have you seen that one?
Oh, is that? Oh, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now.
We can't remember the name of the film, so if you know the name of the film, comment below. But there is a film about a guy who knows all the Beatles songs, goes back in time, and he himself releases them before the Beatles. I haven't actually watched the film, but I know the plot slightly. So, but yeah, if you know the name of the film we're talking about, please let us know, because we're both a bit baffled on that one. But it does exist.
So if you want to learn more about the bootstrap paradox, there is a little intro in, of course, Doctor Who, featuring Peter Capaldi, where he explains the bootstrap paradox. I can't remember which one it is now, and that's really annoying me. I think it might be Into the Lake or something like that, but it's definitely Peter Capaldi. So there you are. That narrows it down to about 3 seasons.
There's one thing Max knows, that's Doctor Who.
Any more conspiracy theories?
I mean, there's a whole conspiracy theory surrounding the moon landings. Have you heard this one?
The moon landings. What, that they're fake?
Yeah, that America never went to the moon in 1969. That's the theory. And it was all started off...
Where did they go? Comment your answer below.
So, where do you think the moon landings were recorded? Leave your answer below. So if you think about it, back in 1969, we didn't have the same sort of broadcasting technology that we have now. So we didn't have HD cameras, we didn't have 4K, we didn't have crystal clear audio. The very fact they had a camera up in space and they were broadcasting it, was it live to Earth at the time?
I think so, yeah.
Is amazing. The very fact they had that technology in space and were able to do that, even if it was sort of very low quality, and it was still incredible, the fact they were able to do it.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There's a massive sort of conspiracy behind it. Ever since a guy called Bill Casing wrote, it was a self-published article called "We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion Swindle." So there was a big space race between America and the Soviet Union. And yeah, that just resulted in people not really liking the way that NASA got a lot of funding, and they were trying to debunk NASA, basically. But there's substantial amounts of evidence that we've been to the moon. There's even been orbiting probes which are taking photos of the surface where there is still footprints in the dust on the moon, because the moon has no real atmosphere, does it? It's very thin, and the gravitational pull is quite thin, so you can jump quite high on the surface. But the big thing about the conspiracy theories was people noted that the flag in space was waving. Well, isn't that right? Because you were saying about this before.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. The science, the physics of the flag waving when there's no atmosphere on the moon. How would it be waving? Wouldn't it just sort of fall down?
Yeah, it's quite a deep conspiracy theory. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of information online about the moon landings, but I believe we've been to the moon. I mean, I don't know about you.
There was these scientists that what they did was they got a really mini flag.
Yeah,
a mini flag made out of the same material as the flag that went up to the moon. It's made from that. And what they did was they got a container on top of this flag that was just stuck in some clay.
Yeah.
They put a container over the top of it and sucked the air out of it.
Yeah.
So created a vacuum. And the flag actually still waved. I think they did something else as well that I can't remember, but the flag actually did wave. So it's been proven by scientists that a flag would still wave if it's on the moon.
So there is proof, and there's tons of moon rock we've brought back as well. We've got loads of lunar samples from all of the space missions, the moon landing missions that we've done since. I mean, obviously the other ones weren't as well documented. Well, they were well documented, but they weren't as well publicized because I think they kind of just wanted to keep it a bit more quiet. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And it's been more than 40 years that the conspiracy theorists managed to keep the public interested in this whole conspiracy that we never walked on the moon. So it's a big one in America. And if you are American and you're listening to this, I mean, comment below. Do you believe we walked on the moon? I'd be interested to hear. I'm genuinely interested to hear people's opinions.
I believe we did.
Thank you very much for listening today. Any of the things we talked about today, please leave a comment below. What do you think? Even if you write us a whole essay and email it to us at anofpodcast@gmail.com. So that's anofpodcast@gmail.com. So even if you write us an essay on how all these things are true and you believe in them, or how they're all false and you don't believe in them, send us an email. We'd be interested to hear as well. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Take care. For listening. To be notified on future releases, don't forget to subscribe to the official A Natter YouTube channel and turn on those notifications.